Let's discuss the latest on this now with Democratic political strategist Kurt Bardella. Kurt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
So let's just perhaps start out with the fallout that we are seeing as it relates to this Jason Aldean story. He's someone who has been obviously a big fixture of the country music industry itself for a long time. Why do you think we are seeing this fallout? Obviously, it's in relation to his new song, but why is this happening now?
Well, I think that it's a very provocative song, a provocative music video using a lot of deliberate imagery. In some ways, it seems as almost as if Jason wanted to provoke this kind of conversation. He's never made it a secret where his politics lies. This is somebody who openly posts about being at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump, going golfing with him, spending New Year's Eve with them. He's called him the GOAT of presidents. So it's not surprising that someone with that worldview would buy into that right wing conservative gaslighting conspiracy theory that somehow small town America is under siege and under attack from big city elite liberal progressives who want to burn everything down, take your guns away, and take away your way of life. Of course, none of that is true, but that certainly seems to be the tone and message that Jason, with his song "Try That in a Small Town," is deliberately put out there into the country music stratosphere and now into the cultural political discussion.
And perhaps it speaks, I guess, to another issue. I mean, obviously, everyone has their own rights to come out and say what they want to say, but with, celebrities and big name people coming out, obviously they have a very large following. They obviously have people who will follow in their footsteps. Do you think perhaps, what can be done about those types of, big celebrities who have big numbers of followings? What does it mean that, again, their supporters and people that, are fans of them will follow in their footsteps and do as they say, whether that be politically or what have you?
I guess I wish that anyone who has the opportunity to have a large following and a devoted following of fans, I wish that they would use their platforms for more instructive and constructive conversations rather than play into the divisiveness, rather than play into the low hanging fruit that is outrage on either side. Why not try to do something that would actually help heal, that would actually help unite? I've always believed that music is all of our common language, and that you can tell stories with music that transcend literal words, and that's what makes it art. That's what makes it so powerful. One of the things that I love about the country music genre in itself is that you can go to a show, and I've been to many, including up there in Canada, seeing my buddy Brett Kissel perform, where you have people of all walks of faith, demographics, people with all kinds of different backgrounds singing along to a song in unison because that song capture something within them emotionally that they connect to. The connectivity of music is so powerful. And so I wish that, particularly with musicians, that they would use these tools that they have, these fans, these social media followings, the microphones and platforms and stages that they are able to perform on regularly. I wish they would use that for something that's healing rather than something we're seeing right now, which really is divisive. It is provocative, and it is by design. It's not an accident.
And just before we conclude, I mean, you mentioned Brett Kissel, for example. He's also had some issues. He did a song that some people were tying to the so-called Freedom Convoy that took place in Canada, where a bunch of truckers came to Canada and were protesting COVID-19 mandates and what have you. Is it, I guess, perhaps an issue with the writing and the lyrics of country music, and they all seem to be talking about similar things, or is it just an issue with, perhaps a couple of artists who their mindset, I guess, wants to write songs about things that become controversial? I mean, how does this happen?
Well, I mean, I think again, like music is art, it is expression, it is creative. Just as there are songs that we could point to that might be more divisive or provocative, I can point to a number of songs that are just the opposite. I think of songs like what Maren Morris wrote in the wake of the Vegas shooting, a song called "Dear Hate." I think about songs that Eric Church wrote, one called "Kill a Word," about literally killing the hateful vocabulary words that injure so many people. I think about songs like Luke Bryan's "Most People Are Good" that says I believe you love who you love, and that's nothing you should ever be ashamed of. So I think that there are plenty of songs that are very meaningful and positive and paint a portrait of a people that is united and together and it's productive. But again, this is the part about free speech that's hard, folks. Like, there are, just as you want to advocate for people to have the right to say and fight for the things that you believe in, you also have to acknowledge that, hey, Jason Aldean has the right to sing a song about whatever he wants. I may not agree with it. I may not like it. I may vehemently disagree with it, in fact, which I do, but I still believe he has the right to say it and to sing it and let people make their own judgments and determinations for themselves.
All right, we'll leave it there. Democratic strategist Kurt Bardella, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. And I got to tell you too, aside from being a Democrat strategist, I run a country music media publication called The Morning Hangover. That's how I know so much about country music. It's why I've been up there to Canada. I've been to the Canadian Country Music Awards before. So if you want to learn more about country music, come check it out. It's called Morning Hangover.